Hello, welcome back. Finally, a video for me after some time. It's not like you were eagerly waiting for this to come up. So today is the last day of Read Palestine week. It's 5th of December. And I ordered some books in advance. Didn't know when they were going to arrive. I was planning to make a recommendation video about these books. One of them arrived last week and it was a pre-order, and the others arrived yesterday. So today it's a sunny day and I'm using this opportunity to film a video because the weather in Ljubljana has not been working in my favor, and filming when it's really cloudy outside, it's challenging and I have to use artificial light. And I already filmed myself a couple of times, but I just didn't like the look of the video and I decided not to post anything. So enough about that. The books in question are about Palestine, of course, because it's the last day of the Read Palestine week. But in general, you should be reading outside of this week as well, Palestinian authors and books about Palestine in general. The first book that I have is the recent republication by Fitzcarraldo of Edward Said's The Question of Palestine. This was first published, I believe, in the 70s. It says here, a major work by one of the great public intellectuals of the 20th century, The Question of Palestine was the first book to narrate the modern Palestinian experience in English. Edward Said's project to bring Palestine into history was unquestionably a success. There is no longer a question of whether Palestine had a history before colonization, and yet Palestinian self-determination is as distant as ever. With the rigorous scholarship he brought to his influential Orientalism and shaped by his own life in exile in New York, Said's account of the traumatic national encounter of the Palestinian people with Zionism is still as pertinent and incisive today as it was on first publication in 1979. I've skimmed through it. I haven't read it yet. I haven't had the time, but because it arrived, I think, 7 days ago, and I'm very busy with my PhD at the moment, so I skimmed through it, and there's very interesting chapters in the book. The first one is the question of Palestine. Second, Zionism from the standpoint of its victims. Third, toward Palestinian self-determination. Fourth, the Palestinian question after Camp David, and the one-state solution is a separate chapter. That's it. I'm looking forward to this one. And also these Fitzcarraldo editions, this is the first time, I don't know if you can see here, but this is the first time I see that the publication, the essay collections that they publish, has some sort of a pattern on the cover. It didn't have this before, and this is the first time I get a book with this version of the cover. So it's interesting from that point as well. Another book, so the next three books are all from Pluto Press. And Pluto Press is a British publisher. I already did some book hauls with books that I bought previous year, or this year that I bought from them. And they have currently a Christmas sale that it's ending today, 5th of December. Hopefully I will upload this today, so maybe you will be able to go and snatch some really cool titles that they have on discount at the moment. But if you don't, they have a lot of discounts throughout the year, usually related to some kind of important dates, like they have for March of 8th discounts, they have for the Black History Reading Month, they have for Indigenous Reading Month. So I encourage you to check it out. Maybe subscribe to their newsletter and you'll get all the information as they post it. So this is by no means any ad. I'm not paid for this. So first book is Hidden Histories, Palestine and the Eastern Mediterranean by Basem el-Ra'ad. It says, for thousands of years, the region of Palestine and the East Mediterranean has been denied an indigenous voice for an inclusive history. Three religions ascribe their origins to this part of the world, appropriating and reappropriating the Holy Land time and again. This book offers a powerful corrective to common understandings. It emphasizes Palestine's long history and dispels many old and new myths, covering issues of religious origins and sacred sites, identity and self-colonization, and the retrieval of ancient heritage. Basem el-Ra'ad is a professor at Al-Quds University, Jerusalem. He was born in Jerusalem, but has been an editor and community organizer, and has also taught in Canada, Bahrain, and Lebanon. I actually skimmed through this one as well and found a very interesting chapter on cats, if I'm not mistaken. This is the one, Cats of Palestine. And I read part of it and I thought it was really amusing and interesting just to see what kind of cultural significance cats have for Palestinians. So that's Hidden Histories. Next one is actually a recently published collection of selected political writings by Ghassan Kanafani, edited by Louise, Brehony, and Tahrir, Hamdi. Ghassan Kanafani is perhaps the greatest Palestinian novelist whose book, including Men in the Sun and Returning to Haifa, documented the horrors of war and occupation. He was also a leading political thinker, strategist, and revolutionary. Here, his writings on politics, history, national liberation, and the media are collected in English for the first time, featuring new commentary from leading writers. This collection is a testament to Kanafani's continuing relevance. His work remains a vital touchstone for revolutionary Palestinian struggle and anti-colonial thought. A sip of water. I had a discussion with one Palestinian author about this book because he was not aware that it was published, and he asked a question whether his writings, because they are political and historical of the time when he lived, he was killed in 1972, whether they are still significant and whether they still hold this political and historical significance. And I believe, even though I haven't read it, that they do, because Kanafani was a Marxist and he was a very good historian, writer, and also he had a good understanding of materialist conditions that his people are enduring and how the history of material conditions changes and evolves. So I believe that his Marxist perspective on the political and historical moment when he lived is still up to date, even though I haven't read his works of his. But I guess I'm ready to be proven wrong if it turns out differently. But I often think that this can be also quite subjective. The decision whether they are still relevant or not can be rather subjective. Depends on what you consider relevant. And the last book is Voices of the Nakba, A Living History of Palestine, edited by Diana Allan, afterward by Rosemary Seig, translated by Hoda, Adra, and Rayya Badran. I forgot to check because this is probably also translated. If it's edited, oh yes. The translating editor is Ourooba Shetewi, translations by Abu Khalil, Louise Brehony, Hiyem Cherufa, Lena Haddadin, Barbara Harlow, Asma Hussein, Ameen Nemer, Ourooba Shetewi, Amira Silmi, and Nejd Yaziji. Sorry, forgot about that. And yeah, this one is translated by Hoda, Adra, and Rayya Badran. Let me see if this one is written in English, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it doesn't have a translation. I think it's written in English. So, what is this book about? During the 1948 war, more than 750 Palestinian Arabs fled or were violently expelled from their homes. The legacy of the Nakba, which translates to disaster or catastrophe, lays bare the violence of the ongoing Palestinian plight. Voices of the Nakba collects the stories of first-generation Palestinian refugees in Lebanon, documenting a watershed moment in the history of the modern Middle East through the voices of the people who lived through it. The interviews with commentary from leading scholars of Palestine and the Middle East offer a vivid journey into the history, politics, and culture of Palestine, defining Palestinian popular memory on its own terms and all its plurality and complexity. Diana Allan is Associate Professor of Anthropology at McGill's University. She is co-founder of the Nakba Archive, a documentary filmmaker, and the author of the award-winning 2013 ethnography Refugees of the Revolution. Voices of the Nakba. I'm really looking forward to this, even though it's a chunker and the font is not that big. So, can this... yeah. Well, thank you for watching. If you stuck around until the end, I am preparing another video, which is going to be a video about the books that I recently read, and this is over a longer period of time. I read since September. I did not speak of these books at all on this channel because I don't really do kind of wrapping up of my monthly reading. And I just decided to do this one because the books that I read are rather spread out in the themes that they cover. So I didn't really, I was not up to reading and documenting these long form videos where I overanalyze or go in depth into the reading that I decide on for a particular reading vlog. And since I was kind of feeling in the mood to break away from that first part of my YouTube channel's history, which is doing these long analysis and deep dives into particular books that cover the same theme from different perspectives or are based in different parts of the world. So I just wanted to, change that a little bit, and I guess the next video is going to be a wrap-up, and it's going to be the first for me, so we'll see how it goes. Thank you for watching, and I hope you choose one of the books that I've recommended, and at one point I will also do a deep dive in about all of these books that I recommended here. Have a good day. Bye.